Alrighty, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle here, and I'm going to be going over the day one confirmed Xbox One games that are going to be available at launch on the first day when you pick up your Xbox One, just like I did with the PS4. And for the most part, there's a lot of similarities here. Obviously, all the multi-platforms that were on the PS4 are also going to be here on the Xbox One. And then for the most part, they kind of have the same amount of exclusives. They both have racing games, they both have like adventure style games. It's weird though because I would say that the PS4 actually went with more the shooter route with Killzone, and the Xbox One, sorry, which was known during the Xbox 360 cycle for being really shooter heavy, went the other route and more like the adventure route with like Dead Rising 3 and Rise Son of Rome. Either way, lots of games here, and I have to say that out of the two of them, I'm more excited for the Xbox One day one games. There's just more titles that, not necessarily that I'm more familiar with, but that I feel a bigger connection to. And I'll get on with that as I go through them. So, starting off with Assassin's Creed 4, once again available on the PS4, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts. Those are all games that are being multi-platformed. Like I said in the last video, you kind of need these games, but these aren't things that I think are going to sell the Xbox One to an extent. You're not going to go, I really want Call of Duty Ghosts on the Xbox One. You will say maybe I'm going to be picking up an Xbox One, and because it has Call of Duty Ghosts, I'm going to pick that game up as well. And that kind of makes you say, well, I was planning on getting a new system, and because that it also has big multi-platform games that I like to play, I'm also going to pick it up. But it's not the reason why you would be picking up an Xbox One. Well, maybe. Some people that just want a new console, they might just pick up the Xbox One and Battlefield 4 or Call of Duty. More so likely Call of Duty out of anything. But it's not, to me, a system seller. It is a big attraction. Don't confuse the two. It's just not a system seller itself. On its own, it needs the support of the exclusives, and that's what I'm going to get into. Next one is Dead Rising 3. Now this is the, I think a lot of people are really happy with this. Not so much because Dead Rising 1 and 2 were really good games, but because the new Dead Rising 3 looks fantastic. When I was watching the trailer, I was just like, oh my god, they took the concept of Dead Rising, the first two games, and just broadened it and just made it so much bigger, so much more jam-packed with things that you can do, and you really get a sense that you are overwhelmed in this place with zombies, and you just have to kill them. I don't know, just for some reason the trailer and the gameplay footage just really did a number on me, I guess, for this one, and I'm really excited for this. Next is FIFA 14. I think that's on both systems. Forza Motorsports 5. This is kind of like Drive Club from the PS4, but Forza has, to an extent, a bigger name because Drive Club is a new IP that I know of. I've never heard of a Drive Club before, and I think that's the first iteration of that system. Anyway, Forza I know is big, and it's one of the few series that Microsoft really continued over the last few years. It was Gears of War, Halo, and Forza. Those are the only three series that they bothered to continue with. And it's weird that we're not seeing a Halo or a Gears of War here. They did still pick out Forza, and I like that. I like that there's no Gears of War and Halo. Yes, they would have been system sellers, guaranteed, but we just had a Gears of War earlier this year. We had Gears of War 3 2 years ago. We had Halo 4 last year. So we've had enough of those series for now. And to an extent, we had enough of Forza as well. Forza Horizon was last year, and the year before that was Forza 4. So it's a little bit overkill, but it's there anyway. And it does look kind of interesting. And I'm not even a big racer fan, but I did say that it interested me a little bit. Not enough to buy day one, but it still caught my interest a little bit more than I expected it to. Next up is Just Dance 2014. Now here's the thing. I would never pay full price for Just Dance. However, because that the Xbox One is, being shipped with Kinect, the Kinect 2.0, so you have, no matter what, you have Kinect. I have played the Kinect on the Xbox 360. I played the sports game, and I played one of the Just Dance games, or I think it was Just Dance. I don't know what it was. It was one of the dancing games. And it was actually pretty fun. I did enjoy it. It was a lot more, it was, the connection to your movements was a lot more solid in Just Dance than any of the other Kinect games I played. Well, it was only the sports game that I played, but I played a lot of the sports games. And it was kind of like, yeah, it was off sometimes, but Just Dance I thought did a really good job with whatever the motion, whatever I was doing, it really connected with what I was doing on TV. So I like that. And if because I'm already going to have the Kinect 2.0 with the Xbox One, so Just Dance might be a buy down the line, like when it drops down to like $20 or even less than that, or if there's like a sale where you buy a few games and you get one off or something like that. Maybe, just because I think it would be fun, and it is actually fun to have people over. It's not like a game though. It's hard to explain. It's a game that you play with friends when people are over. It's kind of like a Mario Party game. But a Mario Party is still a game to me. Just Dance is not. It's like I treat it as a board game. That's how I see it, or a card game, which is odd. But it's kind of fun. Next up is Lego Marvel Superheroes. Still odd that this is one of the games that is going to be available. Like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Assassin's Creed, makes sense to me. Lego Marvel Superheroes, okay, I'm excited for it, and out of all the Lego games, I'm probably more excited for this one than any of the others, but I still think that they should have called it Marvel Avengers or something like that. Cash in on the Avengers name, it's huge. Next up, Loco Cycle. That's, I'm pretty sure that this is like, it's not like an actual retail game. Well, you have to download it. It's one of like an indie game. It's not like a full, $60 game. And it's like this guy that's like, he has a motorcycle for a leg or something like that. It looks interesting and really wacky and stuff, but not, I think a lot of people were upset because they thought that this was like, $60. And they were like, no, that's way too much and it's too, not our forte. The graphics aren't amazing or anything like that, but it's an indie game from what I gather. Next up, Madden NFL 25, NBA 2K14, NBA Live 14. Still weird that they have 2 basketball games, but no hockey game. There's a reason for that, though. I don't remember what the reason is, but there's no NHL for a specific reason, and I don't know what it is. I can't remember off the top of my head. Next up, Killer Instinct. And I've heard from people that were actually commenting on my previous videos that Killer Instinct is going to be, you get the game for free. You get the full campaign, but only one character. For free when you get the Xbox One. That is pretty freaking awesome, because honestly, do you really cycle through all the characters? There are people that do. Obviously, people that are like really big fighting enthusiasts, they go through all the characters, they learn every possible move, they learn all the positives and negatives of each character, and I get that. But for other people, I think that you only play with like maybe 3 or 4 characters, and the other ones are like DLC. Depending on how much they charge for that DLC, that'll be the interesting point. But I'm excited for Killer Instinct, and I'm not a huge fighter fan. It looks fun. Next up is probably my most anticipated exclusive for the Xbox One, and that is Rise: Son of Rome. Now it looks amazing. You play with the controller, and you play as this Roman soldier, and you then use the Kinect voice commands to command your units around you and tell them what to do. That is how you use Kinect in a good way. You play a game with the controller, right, in your hand, and then you shout out voice commands. That I'm okay with. If that's all they're going to use to integrate the Kinect, I'm fine with that. Doesn't bother me, because I think it's cool to be able to use an army and kind of like strategize in your head what are you going to do, but also controlling yourself at the same time. You are like a general. You're going out in battle and you're figuring out, okay, I'm going to need some people to flank over here, do something over there, guard this one place, defend over here, attack over there, offense, defense, all that kind of stuff, and do it instantly. You can continue, like you might be in an epic battle and you can see something in the distance that you really need to do, and you tell them tell you what your army should go do while you're in this epic battle at the same time and fighting to survive. That's a neat idea. I also like the concept that you're all together using the Roman shields and advancing together. That is just wicked. I was sold as soon as I saw that. So I'm quite excited for that game, and man, that just looks amazing too. Next up is Skylanders Swap Force. And last but not least is Watch Dogs, which is another multi-platform that I'm also very, very excited for. Probably one of my most anticipated games for the next 6 months. The rest of 2013, Watch Dogs and Rise of Son of Rome are really up there for my most anticipated games for this year, for the rest of this year. So that's pretty much it. The ones that I'm really looking forward to would be Dead Rising 3, Rise Son of Rome, Watch Dogs, Killer Instinct, obviously Call of Duty and Battlefield 4, Forza to an extent, and also a little bit Just Dance. A little bit. Obviously Assassin's Creed 4, but I'm still playing I'm on Assassin's Creed 2, so I'm a long way away from being able to play that game. But yeah, that's like 8 games, solid game. Well, okay, take away Just Dance because I would never play full price for that. I don't think I would pay Forza full price. Technically, Killer Instinct you don't have to pay full price because I think it's free as far as I know. So that's only that's 5 games that I would want. And I think that's a good solid amount of games. You're technically getting 6 with Killer Instinct, but you only have to pay for 5 unless you want like all the characters of Killer Instinct. And I think that's a really solid launch lineup. 3 games are exclusives, technically 4 with Killer Instinct, and that's a solid lineup. I like that. I feel that as if that this is a stronger lineup. Also, PS4 have been stronger lineups than what we've seen for the last few big launches. For example, the Wii U, the Vita, and the 3DS. Those were kind of all weak launches to an extent, and now we're finally with the PS4 and Xbox One. People have kind of learned from their mistakes or other people's past mistakes, and they're like, okay, we have to have a big launch lineup. So that's I'm happy with this. I think though that had they had Titanfall for the launch lineup, the Xbox One would do so much better. I cannot wait. Out of all the games that I've seen for the Xbox One, I want Titanfall more than Rise: Son of Rome. Man, I cannot wait for that game. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the Xbox One launch lineup, and will talk to you all next time. You've been Bearded and Beardage.